Hey everyone, this is Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot, and welcome back to the channel. On this channel, I cover very introductory topics related to DXing, contesting, and portable ham radio. Not a very in-depth type of person. A lot of these things will just be the basic things that you need to know in order to have fun with contesting, working some DX, and getting out and doing the odd portable outing here and there. So in this video, I'm going to cover using the N1MM Logger Plus a ham radio contest logging software for your next QSO party. That's right, this time of year it is QSO party time, and N1MM is one of those tools that you can use to log your contacts during the next QSO party. So the next QSO party that I can find on the calendar is on March the 14th, the Oklahoma QSO party, and I think the Idaho one runs the same weekend. The thing about QSO parties is basically this, and I think all of them work pretty much the same. There's going to be the odd difference here and there. For example, Maine lets you work stations from anywhere. Vermont include digital, but most of them are going to be this format. If you reside in the state or the province or the territory, for example, the Canadian Prairies have their own. Us here in Atlantic Canada have our own Atlantic Canada QSO party in June. If you reside in that territory or you are in that territory, you work stations from outside the territory. You can also work inside the territory as well, but the contest organizers really set up in a way that it's more advantageous for you to work stations outside of your territory, and those stations that are outside of where you are to work stations in your location. For example, if you are in Oklahoma, you work stations from outside of Oklahoma, and stations from outside Oklahoma work you. So that's pretty much how it works. Most of the time it's going to be some sort of county or geographical area that will be the multiplier. For example, in British Columbia, it is, I believe, provincial government territory. Here in Atlantic Canada, we have counties similar to what the US has. So each province, except for Newfoundland, have counties, and Newfoundland has something a little different but similar in nature. So that's how they work. So if I'm working the Oklahoma QSO party, my goal is to work stations in Oklahoma. Anybody else outside of Oklahoma doesn't count for me, only stations inside of Oklahoma. So I can run and call CQ Oklahoma QSO party, or I could just search and pound stations inside Oklahoma. But N1MM is a software that you can use to log all your QSO party contacts and then submit them to the contest organizer. So let's get into the demo and how you do that. So the first thing you're gonna do is open up N1MM. Let the software open. It's gonna open by default in the last contest that you were in. You want to go to your file menu and click New Login Database and choose QSO Party, I do believe. Yeah, QSO Parties, US and Canada, click on that. So what you want to do is select your QSO party, just a generic QSO party, and then the state of the QSO party that you are working. In this case, it's Oklahoma. And then go through and set up all your categories. If you're doing single op, what band, power, if you're doing CW and SSB, or just CW or just SSB. I normally just do SSB. If I'm what overlay, and we'll get into another video on what all these mean. They're not applicable to me, so I always select not applicable. If I'm assisted or not assisted, usually I'm assisted, and what time category, I'll just select 24 hours. If I'm only going to work 6 hours, I would choose 6 hours or other time period there. My exchange is going to be my province, so November Bravo or New Brunswick for those people inside of Oklahoma, because they're going to get a multiplier for working me in New Brunswick, and my call sign. And I click OK. It come and tell me that I'm entering a QSO party as an out-of-state participant because of my call sign is VE9CF. And my country prefix is VE, and my ARRL or RAC section is November Bravo. If I want to make a correction, I got to go back and change that, but I'm going to click OK. And there you go. Pretty much it. I've got my software logged up, so I'm just going to go through a demo. If I work K5ABC, I just put in K5ABC. I'm on 14247. I'm going to put I'm always going to put 5.9. I'm not going to mess around and go 5. You're 5 and 4 or 5 and 5. And then the exchange is going to be their county. I have no idea of what Oklahoma County would be, so I'm just going to put TUL for Tulsa. I'm just making that up. It may not be correct. And then I just click OK. And there you go. Now you can see, there you see my log, K5ABC 14247. The exchange is Tulsa, and you can see a checkbox for multiplier 1. That means I got a multiplier for that county. And when I'm done, I just go to generate Cabrillo file. I could never pronounce that word. I click on that. It's going to ask me if my exchange is correct, and then it's going to save the file, and I take that file, and the file I'm making here, the ve9cf.log, save that, and that's the log I would submit to the contest organizers. You can go ahead and select super check partial. I always recommend you do that. In this case, in this demo, I'm going to say no because I don't want it to go there because K5ABC is not a real person in this scenario here. So there you have it, folks. That's how you use a QSO party with N1MM. Pretty straightforward. Always check the QSO party website just to make sure there's no updated files that you need to import or configure with N1MM prior to the contest date. Sometimes there are, depends on the contest. Like for example, last year with the ACQP, there was some, since it was new, we had some things to do there. For most of them, it should be pretty much cut and dry, but always double check the contest website just to be sure. I'm Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot. Hope you got something out of this video, and leave a comment below. And I appreciate all of you guys for watching. And make sure you share the wealth about what you know, and tell them where you found out this great information. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.